Hi, welcome to Ready Classroom, Lesson 26, Session 1. Today we're going to be continuing the work we did over the last few days with finding measurement conversions. But today we'll be specifically, or this week we'll specifically be working at solving word problems involving conversions. Now, most of these conversions that we're working with this week will probably be multi-step problems because there will be different types of conversions we need to do, and we're going to be needing to make some more decisions. So this week is going to be like last week, but kind of amped up a bit. But I know that we can handle it because we are rock solid in our unit conversions. So with that, we're going to be working on pages 531 through pages 534. So go ahead and open up to your Ready Classroom math workbook to page 531. Now on page 531, it says here, previously you converted among different measurement units. In this lesson, you will convert measurement units to solve multi-step real-world problems. Use what you know to try and solve the problem below. So here is what the problem says. It says, Ray finds a log that is 90 inches long. He cuts the log into 2-foot pieces of wood to sell as firewood at his store. How many pieces of wood can Roy sell at his store using this log? So this is the log here, and we know that it's 90 inches long. But we know that he cuts it into 2-foot pieces. And we want to know how many 2-foot pieces can Ray cut out of this 90-inch section. So first of all, what are we talking about? This problem is talking about logs that we need to cut up. Okay, and to cut them up for firewood. What is it that we're trying to find out? We want to know how many pieces of wood can Roy sell at his store using this log? And then what is the important information? We know that the log is 90 inches long. And we also know that we need to cut the log into 2-foot pieces. So we want to know how many 2-foot pieces are there in 90 inches. So let's go ahead and do the work. So if we need to know how many 2-foot pieces are in 90 inches, first what we need to do is decide, well, how long is 2 feet? Now we know that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. So if we have 2 feet, 2 feet will be equal to how many inches? Well, we just need to double 12 because 1 foot is 12 inches. So 2 feet is going to be 24 inches. So we know that we need to cut the logs into 2-foot pieces or 24-inch pieces. So now we want to know how many 24-inch pieces do we have in 90 inches. So we are going to divide 90 inches divided by 24 inches to find our total number of inches. Excuse me, it's not going to be inches. We're going to divide 90 inches by 24 inches to find our total number of logs. Because remember, this 24 inches represents 1 log that we're cutting up. Now, 90 divided by 24, I don't know that off the top of my head, so I'm going to go ahead and change this into a long division problem and make it 90 and then 24. Now, I'm going to use my multiples of 1 through 9 chart. If you don't have one, you could always make your own, but this chart I have found to be super, super helpful because I don't know my multiples of 24 offhand. Maybe some of you do, but I definitely do not. So I'm going to find out, all right, 24 times 1 is 24. 24 times 2, I know, is 24 plus 24, which is 48. 24 times 3, I don't know that one, so I'm actually going to go ahead and find out what is 48 plus 24. And I'm going to add that together. 8 plus 4 is 12, 2, carry the 1. 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. All right, that gives us 72. And then that's going to go right here. And then 72 plus 24. Again, I don't know it offhand. 2 plus 4 is 6. 7 plus 2 is 9. That is 96. Now, remember, we try to find out how many groups of 24 go into 90 without going over. So how many groups of 24 go into 90 without going over? That's right. 3 groups of 24 go in without going over. So 24 goes into 90 3 times evenly. Then we can go, we know 3 times 24 is 72, and then we can subtract. So 90 minus 72, 90 minus 72 is, change this to 8, change 10 minus 2 is 8, 8 minus 7 is 1. So we have a remainder of 18. So we know that what this means is that we can cut out 3 24-inch logs, and then we have 18 inches of a log left over. But remember, the question is asking, so our answer here is 3 remainder 18. But remember, the question wants to know how many pieces of wood can he sell if he needs to have a 2-foot piece to sell. So we know that the total number of pieces he has, we know that Ray can sell 3 2-foot pieces of firewood. Now, why couldn't he sell 4 pieces? Well, he couldn't sell 4 pieces because that leftover piece only had 18 inches, and he needed it to be 2 feet, which would be 24 inches. So we didn't quite have enough for that 4th piece of wood. Now we're going to go ahead and go to the next page. All right, now on the next page, we're looking back and it says, explain how you found the number of 2-foot pieces of wood Roy will have to sell. So what we did is we know, oh, there we go. We know that there are 24 inches and 2 feet. We divided that's not helping us out today, is it? There we go. We divided the 90 inches, we divided it by 24 inches to find out how many 2-foot sections or 2 feet sections he could cut. And when we divided 90 by 24, we got 3 remainder 18. So we know he could cut 3 whole, or I'm gonna, not instead of whole, I'm gonna say 3 2-foot, 3 2-foot pieces. All right, because remember that 18 inches left over was not enough to cut another 2-foot piece. Now it says here, in the previous problem, you used more than one step to find a solution. To the problem involving converting units of measure. You can start this type of problem in different ways. Consider this problem. So we're going to look over here at this scale. If we look at the scale, how much more mass is just a fancy word to say weight. How much more mass needs to be added to the left side over here in order to make this balance out? Okay, so how much do we need to add here? Now we know that 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams. So if we want to balance this scale, what should we do first? To find out how much more mass or how much more weight is needed to balance the scale. So what do we need to do if we have 800 kilograms here and 800 grams here and 2.5 kilograms here? What do we need to do to this number here or to this number here? What do we need to do to balance the scale first? So the first thing we need to do is we need to convert these grams into kilograms so that we have the same unit. We cannot compare grams and kilograms to each other until we have the same unit, because this 800 grams does not mean the same as this 2.5 kilograms. So we need to change 800 grams into kilograms so that we have the same unit, and then we can figure out what we need to do. So for part B, it says they want us to go ahead and convert. We're going to do two different things. First, we're going to convert 2.5 kilograms to grams. So first, we're going to convert these kilograms into grams. And then we're going to say what operation we used. So if we're going from kilograms to grams, we're going from kilograms to grams, which is a larger unit, a kilogram or a gram? That's right, a kilogram is a bigger unit. So we're going to start with 2.5 kilograms. And if we're going from a larger unit to a smaller unit, we need to multiply, because we always multiply when we go from a larger unit to a smaller unit. And we're going to multiply it by the number of units in 1 kilogram, which is 1,000. So if we multiply 2.5 times 1,000, remember the number of zeros is the total number of places we move that decimal. So we're going to start with our 2.5 and move that decimal 1, 2, 3 places, put our placeholder zeros in, and then add that comma. So we know that 2.5 kilograms is 2,500 grams. And we used multiplication to find that out, to go from kilograms to grams. I'll go ahead and put that in here. Kilograms to grams. Now, they also want us to convert 800 grams to kilograms. So we're going to go ahead and convert grams to kilograms. Now this time we're going from the smaller unit of the gram to a kilogram. So we know that we have 800 grams. And so if we're going from a smaller unit to a larger unit, we're going to divide. And we're going to divide by the number of grams in 1 kilogram. Now, when we multiply, the decimal moves to the right. When we divide, the decimal moves to the left. So this time, we're going to move that decimal still 3 places. And where is the imaginary decimal in 800 grams? That's right, it's over here at the end. And then we're going to move that decimal to the left 1, 2, 3 places. So we know that 800 grams, moving that decimal 1, 2, 3 places to the left, is going to give us 8/10 kilograms. And we used division to figure that out. So I'm going to show you now that it doesn't really matter which way you decided to convert. You just needed to choose one of these and convert it to the other. So if you prefer to multiply, maybe that's your favorite, then you're going to want to take the larger unit and convert it to the smaller unit. If you prefer to divide, then you're going to take the smaller unit and convert it to the larger unit. I'm not going to tell you which way to do it. I will tell you that my preference is to multiply. I don't know why. I feel like I make fewer mistakes when I multiply, so that's usually what I choose to do. But again, this is your decision. You're the one who's having to do the work, so you're the one who gets to choose what you convert to. So in this case, I showed you how you could convert both of them. Then, once you have that, now we're going to choose one of those conversions from part B to solve the problem. So all we did right now is just convert. But we're not done, because the question really is asking us, how much more weight do I need to add to this side of the scale to make the scale even? I want this side of the scale to equal this side of the scale. Now, we know that this 25 kilograms is the same as 2,500 grams. So this is the same as 2,500 grams. And we know that this 800 grams is the same as 8/10 of a kilogram. So now what we need to do is we need to take one of the units of one of the values from this side and subtract what we already have. Now I prefer in this case to use grams, because I feel like it's easier to subtract 800 grams from 2,500 grams than it is to subtract 8/10 of a kilogram from 2.5 kilograms. I feel like sometimes when we use those decimals, we make a few more mistakes. So I suggest that you do what I do, which is we're going to leave the answer in grams. So we're going to start with our 2,500 grams, and we're going to subtract 800 grams from our answer. And then we're going to get 0 minus 0 is 0, 0 minus 0 is 0, 5 minus 8 we can't do. I'm going to regroup. 15 minus 8 is 7, 1 minus nothing is 1. So we need 1,700 grams to balance the scale. Now I will tell you, we could have solved it the other way. I'm going to go ahead and do it because I'm nice like that, so that you can see that it works. You're going to get a different answer, but it's going to be equivalent. So we're going to get an answer that is equivalent to 1,700 grams. So if we had 2.5 kilograms and we subtract 8/10 of a kilogram, we're going to get, I can't subtract 8 from 5, so I'm going to borrow. 15 minus 8 is 7. 1, bring my decimal straight down. 1 minus 0 is 1. So our answer could have been 1,700 grams or 1 7/10 kilograms. Either way, once you added it to this side of the scale, it would balance it and make it level. Whew, that was a doozy. All right. For a reflection, it says this: when you convert from grams to kilograms, do you end up with more units or fewer units? So again, when we're going from grams to kilograms, do you have more units or less? So if we're converting from grams to kilograms, we end up, or I end up with fewer units because there are 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram. So even though a kilogram is bigger than a gram, we will always have fewer units because we're just talking about a bigger piece. All right, once you have that written down, you're going to go ahead and go to the next page. If you're not quite done yet, you can go ahead and pause your video. And then when you're done, you can come back to work on the graphic organizer with me. So this graphic organizer is talking about the word convert. So what is converting, or what is convert? Convert is to change from one measurement unit to another. So when we convert a unit of measure, that means we're changing it from one unit to another unit. We know that we multiply to convert larger units to smaller units, and we divide to convert smaller units to larger units. Some examples of converting would be, I know that 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. So that means that if I had 5 yards, I would multiply my 5 yards times 3 feet, because there are 3 feet in 1 yard, to get a total of 15 feet. So 5 yards is equivalent or equal to 15 feet. If I had 1 foot and I know that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. If I started with 48 inches and I wanted to convert to feet, since I'm going from a smaller unit to a smaller unit to a larger unit, I need to divide. 48 inches equals 48 divided by 12, which equals 4 feet. And if I had 1 kilogram, it equals 1,000 grams. If I start out with 300 grams, I'm going to go ahead and take those 300 grams and divide them by 1,000 because there are 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram. And I'm going to divide 300 by 1,000. I'll move my decimal. I'll get 3/10 of a kilogram. So remember, we multiply to convert larger units to smaller units, and we divide to convert smaller units to larger units. Remember, when we're looking at the units, we're looking at the words that we're talking about. We're not looking at the actual numbers. You don't always divide the bigger number, or you don't always multiply, you don't always multiply the bigger number. You're going to go based off of whatever the unit is. That means the word, whether it's feet, pints, cups, ounces, pounds, whatever it is. With that, you're going to go ahead and finish number 2 on this page, and then 3 and 4 on the next. If you have any questions, you can always email your teacher. See you next time.